Hi, Veronika. Welcome to my show today.
Hi, Tracy. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. Veronika Archer is the founder of a conference. So let's let her tell you a little bit about herself, and then we'll get into what you're going to learn about this conference. As you know, I speak at a lot of summits and different things that are out there. Veronika has gathered, what is it, 30 people?
32, 33, including myself.
33 experts that are going to teach a lot of stuff. So let's let her start off with an introduction of herself so you know a little bit about her, and then we'll talk about what you're going to learn at this conference.
Thank you so much, Tracy. I so appreciate that you're sharing this with your audience. I know that they are really going to learn a lot from this series, and it is totally free, so definitely stay tuned as we talk about this. And Tracy, I was so happy for you to be a part of this and to meet you and to get to know you. It's been, I just feel like we connected on so many different topics. So thank you so much for having me here. Briefly about myself, you know, as probably so many of your people watching out there, I left a marriage that I was in for 16 years. I found out after I left that it was psychologically abusive, and he meets all the characteristics of narcissist personality disorder. He's not diagnosed. We know that we don't diagnose people, but he does definitely just textbook. Yeah, checks all the boxes. And you know, it took me a while to really realize that and come to terms with it. And I went through this whole process of healing and transformation. Quite honestly, it took me many years to get to where I am now. And I got to a point, Tracy, where I realized that I was so happy in my life and like truly just taking pleasure every day. And I looked around and realized that most people don't. And it's not just people who are struggling with recovering from abusive or traumatic relationships, but even just people in general tend to be kind of stuck in their lives. And it was like I felt like I'd found this secret and I wanted to share it with everybody. And so that was the impetus for me to start coaching and working with people. And I do focus specifically on people recovering from traumatic relationships to help them heal, identify those patterns, and then of course the important part is creating the life that you love and that you want.
It's when people are in the fire, and I use that analogy all the time, when you're in the fire pit of the divorce, you know, for you and I, we did not know about this until after it was over for me. And you know, that's so common. And yet the ones that are in and like have just figured it out, they're like deers in the headlights. It's so hard to see past today and the fear of everything that's going to happen and is happening, you know, to get calls and to have to go to, like, you know, CFIs and people that are like going to make a decision for you, and parenting coordinators and all of these crazy things. It's so hard to see that they'll have a life after this.
Yes, absolutely.
I got a Facebook picture this morning that was my son's first day of college, and it was 8 years ago. And that was 2 weeks after he asked for the divorce. So I'm looking at 8 years now, and it took a long time and it took a lot of work, because it's not just getting over that. It's healing wounds that you might not even know you had that made you vulnerable.
That's exactly right. There's a reason we were in those relationships.
Absolutely.
And it's uncovering that reason. And that was my second aha moment. My first aha moment was realizing these characteristics of my ex, which, you know, like you just said, it's like deers in the headlight, and you go through this sort of shock of like, oh my gosh, was I with someone for all this time who never truly cared about me? That's really difficult to process. But for me, it was, I don't even remember, maybe a year, I think it might've been 2 years later, before I made the connection to my childhood dynamics and why I ended up. And that was the big, in that relationship. And that was the big aha moment that really changed the trajectory. And that's what I'm really passionate about, helping people uncover sooner. I don't think it has to take years and years like it took you and me, Tracy. It does take time. There's no way around that. It's not going to be overnight. I'm not going to make any promises that healing is, it's just not. But it can be faster if you come to these understandings quicker.
and you do the work. You know,
You do
people
the work.
are just being like, you know, I want to check into a Betty Ford narcissist abuse recall.
Yeah, we should create that, Tracy.
I just want to be done in a week, you know. Everyone's prescription, as I say, is different. You know, you may have abandonment stuff, you may have codependency stuff, you may have people pleasing, non-boundaries. There's so many things that made us vulnerable, and finding them and sort of healing those wounds and looking at it. And I always say recovery is like throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks. Oh, I codependency. Well, I relate to a little of that. Let's try this and learn about this and just keep learning.
Okay, Tracy, that was a perfect summary of the series that we're doing. So I'm going to jump in and take that opportunity, because you said it's like throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. And this was one of the benefits of this series. So I am talking with 32 people who are experts in recovering from traumatic relationships and rebuilding your life. That's really important to me, to focus on that next step of getting to where you want to be. But what I think is cool about the series, and quite frankly, somebody else pointed it out to me, so now I'm sharing it that as a benefit, is that different things are going to work for different people in terms of the tools and the methods to help you in your healing. And then also, as you just said, Tracy, there's going to be different reasons that you ended up where you are. And so having 33 people speaking on different topics and sharing different tools, it's like we're throwing the stuff at the wall for you, and you get to see what sticks for you. And it's a great opportunity to just meet a whole bunch of different experts and their tools and see what works for you, rather than you having to spend, 3 years trying to find 33 different experts and trying each different thing and figuring out what works for you. So you get all of this, all at once. We've done that work for you.
And you're not just talking about like experts, you're talking about like the highest level in this industry, and I'm putting myself at the bottom of the page. I'm so impressed with Dr. Simon and Darlene Lancer and Dr. Romney and Melanie Tonya Evans. The people are giving you stuff, and if you guys are out there in TV land or listening to it on the podcast here, these people charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour to talk to you. And so if you can get some, basically it's like free coaching. You're going to get 33 lessons and 33 things that are going to help you get in the right direction.
That's exactly right. And Tracy, you're right. I mean, I was also just so kind of truly overwhelmed with gratitude, and I'm so honored to be speaking with the people we've had that are on this series. We've had such an incredible response, and we do, as you just said, have people that are really experts in the experts in this industry. I mean, you just named some of them. And there's two things that I really loved about this series. So we have these really amazing experts, but everyone that I've interviewed, we have people who are well less known. You may not recognize their names, but they are all experts in what they do and incredibly qualified. And we also have people like you and me, Tracy, who have gone through the experience and are experienced in the recovery. And that's also very, valuable, that we can share our experiences and how we got through it. So we really cover the spectrum from like PhDs and clinicians who can tell you all about narcissism and, the clinical reasons behind it. People who blew my mind, who can talk about the physiology of the brain and how trauma affects your brain and how to heal it. And then we talk about recovery, sort of the emotional pieces, what you're going through when you've sort of first made these discoveries. And then we talk about creating healthy relationships. And we have some amazing, talented people who talk about, how to actually create those healthy relationships. So we have the whole spectrum, and we have, as you said, Tracy, just really qualified people in each kind of section of that.
And that's the important part.
And it's all free.
Everybody, this is the important message here. These people are here to help you. And
Yes.
they've been there, or they have been treating people like yourself, and they know how to get you to the other side. So definitely log in. We're going to put the URL right down here below, and we're going to get people into this thing. When does the event start? Let's make sure they understand what's going to happen next.
Yeah, absolutely. So it starts on September 2nd, and it will go for about 3 weeks because we have so many speakers. And, you know, click on the URL and it will give you all the information. Each speaker is, their episode is available to you for free for 7 days. So, you know, if you're like, oh my God, I don't, September 2nd, I'm just totally busy. I'm going away for Labor Day the following weekend. All those reasons that we have to not prioritize ourselves, we've got you covered. They're audio interviews or discussions really. So you can listen, you can just listen to it wherever, you know, running errands. I love to listen to episodes in my car when I'm running errands. And they're available for 7 days. So you don't have time today, you can do it tomorrow, you know? So
an option too for those people that want to like go back to it later, you know.
yes, there is an option to purchase the whole series, and it's a really low price, y'all. It's really important to us to get this out to you and give you those resources, but you do have the option to purchase the series if you want to just have it forever, and that way you can go back. And I actually do really recommend that, because we have really incredible people and they share so much information. I mean, I've personally gone back and listened to these episodes already multiple times, and I'm like taking notes. So you really are going to want to do that. And we do have quite a few people who have medical backgrounds and scientific backgrounds, and they're, you know, talking about the hippocampus and the amygdala, and you're like, what did you just say? Like, you know, so it is a great resource to have forever, so that you can go back and listen to them. So that is an option. But, you know, if that's not in your, it's a really low price, but if that's not in your budget, it's free. So for 7 days, so you can find 30 minutes in 7 days to listen to an episode, right? So
is it going to be one a day, or is it several a day that they can access?
it varies a little bit, Tracy, and it just depends, you know, on the content. There are people who have sort of similar topics, and so those we did provide on the same day. It's 1 or 2 a day, so you're not going to be overwhelmed. You know, you're going to have time to. It's not like 10 a day, and then you're like, oh my God, I have 7 days to listen to 10 people. No, we're trying to make this accessible to you, because our goal here truly is to help people who need this. So for people that are listening, we're here to support you. I mean, I know, you know, Tracy, and her mission is really to just support people who are going through this. And so we did try to make this series as accessible to you as possible, because that is our goal, is for you to be able to really use it. And in every episode, it was my priority to make sure that you are getting actual tools. So it's not just listening to people's stories, which there's a time and place for that can be helpful. It's not just listening to scientific studies and kind of makes your brain want to explode. In every, I mean, I'm a biologist by training, so I love all that stuff, but some people, that's not their jam, right? In every episode, literally, we identify specific tools that you can start using in your life right away. So this is really meant to not just be information, it's meant to be tools that you can use. So when, you know, I think I say somewhere in the headline, like, you know, rebuild your life. I mean that literally. I'm giving you tools. We collectively are giving you tools so you can start rebuilding your life.
This is going to be such a great conference. I have been in so many conferences, and it has been such an honor to be in all of them. But this one is just like bigger, and so excited to hear all the people. I've got my name on the list. I'm going to be getting them every day, and I will be digesting them. And I strongly suggest that all of you jump on there and follow the link, get yourself on the mailing list. I think that's first. You get on the list, and then they subscribe to you. So put your email.
Exactly. Click your name. If you click on that link, you'll be taken to a site where you can get on the mailing list. And that's where you'll get the information about every day who's speaking, you know, how to get that interview on the site. And I can't remember if I said this already, but all of our speakers are giving free gifts too. So if you're on the, you know, if you're on the list, because we don't want to spam people. So we're only sending this to people who want it. So it's really important that you put your name on the list. And then our speakers are giving away free gifts. So you'll get the information on how to get those free gifts. Again, truly no obligation, totally free. And again, the purpose is, if you're listening to an episode and you're like, oh my gosh, this person's resonating with me, I want to start putting those tools into action, then you can download their free gift and actually start getting support from that, you know, from that free gift to start doing that. So over 30 free gifts, over 33, actually I think it's 35 episodes altogether. So yeah.
Awesome. So thank you so much for sharing this with everybody today. We'll put that URL down below, everybody, and you'll see Veronika. You will hear her interviewing everybody, and I have to tell you, she was great interviewing me. I really enjoyed it. It was like we just connected. You know, when we meet someone else that's been through what we have and come out the other side, I call us survivors. And I have my little mugs here. Survivor. Yes. It's when we've gone so far, we're not just a survivor, but we're giving back. And so thank you for being a survivor and bringing this to the world, because one person at a time, we're going to heal everybody and educate them and just change the world.
Thank you, Tracy. I so appreciate you sharing this and for being on the series. And that is the bottom line. What you just said is, you know, one person at a time, healing them. We're I can't say that word even though I love it. Survivor. I'm going to say it a few times. We are all survivors, and when you're in that space, you're really motivated to help other people because we're on the other side. We know it's beautiful over here, and we just want to help other people get there because we know how dark it can feel where you are right now. So,
all right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy. I really appreciate it.